do a video for the YouTube channel. It's the first one that I've done. So I put a word out for some questions so I could do a Q&A. I've done this kind of thing before, but I didn't really get too many questions. But luckily this time I got 12 from various people that follow me over Instagram and Facebook. So I will start going through them now. So the first one is from a cosplay duo, which is Winte and Cooper Cosplay. And they wanted to know how I pick my cosplays. So in terms of projects, I choose them based on whether it's a movie, a TV show, or an anime or a comic that I'm interested in. Usually it's something about the character that I'm drawn to. That could be something that's a physical thing, or sometimes it's a personality. More often than not, it's a personality kind of thing. Sometimes it's just because I like the design, I like the outfit. And yeah, so, but in terms of actually choosing what I do for my convention schedule, you guys would have noticed that for those that are on my Facebook page and my Instagram, I've put my con schedule out for next year already. Basically, I choose it it's very much random. It doesn't always make sense. Sometimes it's based on being in a group. And sometimes it's just something that I feel like doing because I think it's not overly done, so it might stand out a little bit more. And usually it's based around the fandoms that I'm interested in at the time. That's like, I started working on Negan because I'm a massive fan of Walking Dead, and Mel came up from the same kind of thing. I'm probably going to have Merle out next year. Originally I was going to have Negan out, but I changed my mind on that, but that's because I'm more drawn to Merle as a character. And he's not as common as Negan. Negan has become quite popular since the new season of Walking Dead, so that's kind of why I switched in terms of that. And like next year I'm doing a group for Kick-Ass, I'm doing Hit Girl, so that wasn't one that was originally high on my radar, but when that group came up I was like, oh well, I want to do her, so that's the reason why I kind of chose that one. The next question is from Nadathan Progression, who's one of my good cosplay friends. And she asked, what is the most exciting part of cosplay for me? So basically, what I find exciting is getting out there with all of my cosplay friends and, showing off the hard work that we put into our cosplays, because they do require a lot of hard work and a lot of prep in terms of getting ready for them, just as much as the crafting and everything else that's involved. And what also is awesome is seeing the reaction from people. Like kids get really excited because I'll see their favorite superhero and stuff like that. So it's exciting for us to see that kind of reaction as well, and to get people coming up and wanting photos and wanting to talk to us about our cosplays and things like that. And the next question is from Netherjade Cosplay, and she wants to know what my most challenging cosplay. Okay, so when I made this answer, it has expanded quite a bit. Probably the most challenging one for me, physically wearing it, is Vegeta, because I did the Cell Saga version. I have the armor, and the wig that I have, because he has the defined point in his hair, the wig that I had a lot of difficulty keeping that point in place. So that was kind of a bit frustrating to wear more than anything, but I kind of got used to wearing the armor. I'm planning on making another armor set for Trunks, because the armor that I've got for Trunks is made out of cloth. It doesn't sit properly and doesn't look that great. So that's something I've got in the works down the track. Another one which is a bit tricky to wear is Spider-Gwen. Obviously, it's a full bodysuit, so your hands are in the suit as well. Because I don't have detachable gloves, it makes it difficult to do things, so I can't do simple things like use my phone. Eating is a bit trickier. I can only eat food that requires a fork because I can't actually take my hands out of the gloves. And with my Ultimate Gwen, I wear the mask, so it has a face shell, which makes breathing a little bit easier, but it still fogs up. I'm lucky that I do have magnetic lenses on that mask, which does make seeing and walking around a bit easier. But still, when you're posing, it takes a little bit more effort because you've got to over exaggerate where you're looking and things like that, because obviously people can't see your eyes. Crafting wise, I've got a big challenge coming up next year because I'm planning a Cubone Gajinka. In doing this, it's going to be a lot of crafting and designing. Everything is going to be designed myself. I'm not going off any fan art or any art that's been drawn up for Cubone at all. A lot of people have cosplayed at Cubone, but I'm doing it with my own kind of twist because I'm a massive fan of Diablo. I kind of want to take on one of the class builds from that and take it into Gajinka design. So I'm basing it on a Witch Doctor style. So I'm changing it up a little bit to what you expect to see with Cubone. Instead of having just the club, I'm going to try and make it as a staff. Gonna stand out a little bit more because it's a bit different. Transporting wise, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to manage that. I am planning on taking it to PAX, but I have to try and make it in a way it can dismantle somehow so I can transport it. The helmet will still be the standard Cubone helmet. Eventually it will be the foundation probably is a transition to Marowak, because let's face it, if you're going to do Cubone, you've got to do Marowak as well. So the main thing that'll probably change in terms of making it Marowak will be obviously the helmet is a bit different from Marowak to what it is for Cubone. And another thing in terms of what's challenging is I actually did today Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. That was challenging for me because of I was dealing with the face paint and the wig, and I have a tendency somehow with my wigs I end up eating the wig, which is really kind of, I guess, frustrating because I try and keep it out of my face, but the hair seems to still get in the way. But that was a lot of fun as Gamora, but there's still going to be a lot of work that I need to do before it'll make it into a convention schedule, so don't expect to see it anytime soon because the makeup is going to take a lot more practicing to get done. But I do have Rocket Raccoon happening next year, so he'll be a challenge because of tail. He has a tail, and because he's an animal, and just humanizing it enough and still keeping it recognizable will be a bit of a challenge as well. Okay, so the next question is, do I have a connection to all the characters that I cosplay? So this is from one of my Instagram followers called Glitter Rain. Okay, so with the connection to the characters I cosplay, for the most part, I do actually have a connection in some aspects. Most of the time it's a personality thing. There's if you look at a lot of the characters that I choose, a lot of them has a bit of a sass and a bit of attitude. It is a part of my personality that I guess not everyone would see, but those that are very close to me probably would. I do get a little bit sassy and I can get a bit, I guess, a bit smart with my comments sometimes, but I only really do that to people that really know me well. So that's a lot of reason why I'll choose people like Vegeta, because he's kind of got that kind of sass and attitude. Domino is also a little bit sassy. I've actually got one that I'm planning on doing next year. which I don't know if we'll make a convention schedule, but I'm going to do it for a photo shoot anyway, which is Max from Two Broke Girls. She's like my spirit animal. Like, she's awesome. So sometimes it will be a physical thing, but most of the time it's personality based. Daryl was chosen purely because it's my favourite character from Walking Dead. That's also something that I do base things off. It's not necessary in terms of connection. It might actually be just a connection in terms of it's like a favourite character or something like that as well. But yeah, so that's that one. Okay, this next question is, I've had a few people kind of asking me this question, and every single time it gets tougher and tougher to answer. But one of my awesome friends, Buzz, he asked me if what would my ultimate cosplay be if I had an unlimited budget to create it. Now, there's a few things that I would love to do if I had an unlimited budget. One would be an Iron Man suit or a War Machine that is completely fully operational, so Jarvis, everything kind of, you know, the suit can magnetize to me, all the cool stuff that, you know, Tony Stark has. Or Hulkbuster, because that would just be an incredible thing to build. I'd obviously have to find a Hulk to fight, but yeah. In terms of an actual goal that I want to achieve, Black Lotus from Excel World. It's a fully armored cosplay. It's one that I'm planning to achieve. It's probably my ultimate goal at the moment in terms of armor. Because literally the entire thing is armor. There's not a single bit that's cloth. It's complete armor and warbler kind of looking thing. It's awesome. It's definitely in my future projects. It's probably one that I will take to a very high level competition, purely because of the skill set that's involved to make it. There is certain cosplays that I have reserved for championship competitions and stuff like that, purely because of the crafting involved. But yeah, unlimited budget, definitely. I would love to have a fully operational Iron Man suit kind of thing. Okay, so the next question is from Emerald Dragplay, and I was kind of expecting this kind of a question from him due to I actually did some judging with him earlier this year, and he asked what I look for when I'm judging. So basically, with judging, I obviously you look at the costume overall. But in terms of what it comes down to, it's really craftsmanship, attention to detail and characterization. So, to me, I'm a sucker for accuracy and all like little attention to detail. Make sure you've got all the little aspects into it. So that's why I mainly look at that, and craftsmanship, because there's so many different techniques that you can use in cosplay. So there might be something that I haven't done that's an ingenious way that is really cool. And characterization, because sometimes, you know, people, they'll just come out, they'll be spot on in character. You may not even know the character, but you feel drawn to it because they obviously know their stuff and they're full on in the character. They know they're in the zone, and you don't have to ask questions about what the character is, because you can get it straight away off the bat as soon as you see them. So that's probably the three things that really draw me in when I'm judging. I do hope that I can get some more judging opportunities down the track. I haven't had too many at this stage, but being only a year and a half into my cosplay career journey, I'm sure there'll be more that'll come from it later on. Okay, so my little juniors that have only just started cosplaying this year, I asked them to ask me a question because they don't have social media, because they're really young. So I asked them to give me a question. So they asked me what my favourite superhero is. Now, for the longest time, Wolverine has been my favourite superhero. Because he's awesome, he has claws, and he's just, I've always been drawn to Wolverine. So, in terms of cosplaying, obviously I can't cosplay Wolverine because I don't look like Hugh Jackman. And my physique is nowhere near what it should be for Wolverine. So I've chosen to go with his daughter, X-23. Whatever. Anyway. So I'm gonna do an X-23 cosplay. And it's gonna be the all new, all different one. So it's essentially the Wolverine suit. Just as X-23. Because I'm more suited to her physique over Wolverine himself. So that was a really cool question. I was glad they would ask me a question because, you know, like, they kind of get inspired a lot by what I do. And what is the next one? Okay, so the next lot of questions, this is from another one of my really awesome cosplay friends. Her page is I'm not bad, I just cosplay that way. So the next 5 questions are actually questions that she's given me. So when I asked for questions, I was just expecting like people to give me 1 question, but she decided to be awesome and give me 5. Okay, so the first question of hers is what makes cosplayers awesome? So, I mean, cosplayers are definitely awesome because, you know, we get to show off our fandoms, we get to bring to life characters from our own childhoods and even, people, the kids' childhoods as well. So, you know, like, with a lot of things that are coming up, like with Zootopia and Frozen and all this kind of stuff, we've been able to bring, like, other kids' childhoods to life, which is pretty awesome. And the other thing is, I think it's, you know, it proves that anyone can do anything. Like, you may not think that you can do crafting or, you know, you can sew or anything like that, but it kind of gives you an outlet to be able to explore those kind of skills as well. And you tend to learn a lot off other people. And it's very much a challenge of your own personality. Like, a lot of things that I've done that I didn't think was possible. Like, I used to be a very shy person, and I wouldn't go out in public in a costume or anything like that. I just thought that was just something I would do when I was dancing or something like that. But you know, it's challenged me personally, and as you know, I've learnt a lot about myself from it. So I think that's pretty awesome as well because, you know, it gives you a chance to learn more about yourself and, I guess, be able to show more of who you are to other people. Okay, so one of the main games that that's going pretty viral at the moment is Overwatch, and both myself and Kelly, we both play Overwatch. So she has asked me what my favourite Overwatch character is. Now, when I play Overwatch, I mainly play Reaper in 76, mainly because I'm pretty much, the way I play is I just run in and shoot all the things. I don't hide. I don't stealth. I'm terrible at that. I just run in and start all guns blazing. So they kind of work in terms of my style of play. I can't play Widowmaker or Hanzo because I can't sniper or hide. But design-wise, and this is kind of some things I'm thinking about in terms of cosplaying as well. I love Mai. Her suit is just adorable. So design-wise, I'm very much drawn to her and Sombra, who's the new character. I haven't had a chance to play Sombra yet, but seeing her design, it just looks awesome. It's definitely one that I would love to cosplay. I know a few people have started working on it. So she's going to become real popular real quick. But pretty much Overwatch has gone viral in terms of cosplays anyway, so I don't think it really matters if I end up doing it or not. But yeah, that's probably my main ones. I have played as Mai on Overwatch, and she's awesome because she has a frozen. She just shoots up a ice ball. But I'm not a defensive player. I'm very offensive and run in all guns blazing, so I don't tend to play as her that much. But I just find her adorable. Okay, so the next question is the best thing to cosplay as from games and movies. Okay, so in terms of video games, I haven't done a great deal of video games as yet. I'm still kind of progressing in that area. The main one that I've done from video games is Frost from Mortal Kombat. She's amazing. She was a really fun one to do. I brought that up a lot earlier in my plans because there was a Mortal Kombat group at EB Expo. So I jumped in on that because I thought it would be fun to have Frost out there. I didn't have her complete by then because I still didn't have a mask, but I am planning on doing a shoot with Little Bay Cosplay with her Hanzo. So that's gonna probably happen, I think, early next year now. And in terms of ultimate goals for video games, it would be Deathwing from World of Warcraft. The design for that is the same one that Jessica Nagiri used. Can't remember the full name of the guy now, but I think it's Zach Fisher something. Can't remember the name of it exactly, but it's a really cool design. A few cosplayers have picked it, but it uses LEDs, it uses various forms of foam, so crafting it I think will be a lot of fun. It's going to take me a long time to build something like that, but definitely is something that I want to work towards. In terms of movies, I really haven't touched movies at all. When I first started, I was very anime heavy and comic heavy. In terms of movies, well, obviously I've done Gamora now. That was one that I wore today. But I do have Rocket Raccoon happening next year. I have Hit Girl happening next year. So they're probably my two main movie ones that I've got coming up. But yeah, I do want to get into some more movie ones. I've got a few on my list. I just haven't had a chance to get into a lot of them at this stage. Eventually I'll be doing Celine from Underworld. Probably going to do it from more based from the new movie, because the design looks a little bit easier than the older ones. But yeah, I'll probably be doing more video games and movies overall. Okay, so the next question is best game of all time. This was a hard one for me to pick because, you know, I like a lot of video games. My main ones that I've liked for a while. I'm a PS gamer, PlayStation gamer. Massive fan of Diablo. I played Diablo on PS1. That was probably one of my first PlayStation games that I played. Apart from Crash Bandicoot. And the other one that I really am drawn towards, and ones that I want to do a lot of cosplay from, is Borderlands. There's a fair few characters that I want to do from that series. I am planning to do Tiny Tina from Borderlands next year. I'm not sure if that's going to happen because there's a lot of work that's got to go into it. So hopefully I'll have enough time to get her together because of the cell shading and a lot of intricate details that I want to make sure is bang on before I wear it to a convention or anything. But going back to my childhood, it'd have to be Sonic, because the Sonic series, I played that so much. Probably played it to the death. Like, it's I love Sonic. Tails. I was more of a Tails fan. When Tails came into it, more than Knuckles. But yeah, I love the Sonic series. They were awesome. And the last question that I have is asking if I build my own props and why why not. So I have made it very known that I don't do a lot of crafting. A lot of my cosplays up until now have been bought, and more often than not had some form of modification done to them, whether that's to make it fit me better, to make it look more authentic to the look that I overall want. So in terms of making props, I haven't really made that many. I did make a Batarang for one of the juniors for his Batman cosplay, so that was fun, because that was working the first time I worked with foam. And after that, the only other thing I've really done was I made the Lin Kuei symbols for Frost. But there is going to be a bit more crafting that's going to happen, as I said before, with Cubone. All of that's going to be all me. At this stage, I don't know if I'm going to put it into a competition or not, but that's going to be completely all me. Melisandre is one that I'm going to be working on, so I am going to be making her necklace, hopefully, as well as hopefully her dress, if I can find the right fabric. Been having issues with that. And I might try and make some stuff for Hit Girl as well. I'm actually making the double-ended sword stick thing that she has, so that's probably going to be my next main prop that I'll be making. I am working from Ash from Ash vs Evil Dead. So I'm going to make his chainsaw hand. I probably won't make his broomstick. That'll probably be modified from a gun, toy gun. Because it would have to be convention friendly, so I'll have to have the orange tip on the end. But yeah, so I will be, I do try and post as much as I can in terms of progress photos and things on my Facebook page, and my Instagram. I am on Twitter and on Tumblr, but I'm not as active on those. My main two is Instagram and Facebook. I will try and post videos on YouTube as much as I can. The next thing I'm planning on doing in terms of YouTube videos is a tutorial on how I age my things for my Walking Dead cosplays. So I'll be doing a specific costume for that, which I'll probably reveal details over the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. And definitely keep an eye on my Facebook and Instagram for all the other things that are coming up. Until the next video, I will see you guys later. Thanks for everyone that gave me the questions, much appreciated, and hopefully I'll be able to do more interactive things like this with you guys in the future. See ya.